Jay here for Stretford Paddock. This is the Paper Talk. As you can see, I'm in the studio, so you know what to do by now. Get involved in the comments and the chat. We're going to be giving you the latest updates on the Takeover news. What is going on there? Why are we still waiting to see who the new owners of Manchester United Football Club are going to be? We'll also be giving you an update on the latest transfer news as well. What is happening with the Mason Mount bid? It looks like there could be a bit of movement there, and any other stories doing the rounds as well. So make sure you are letting us know what is going on as well. Your opinions, get involved in the comments and the chat. Loads of people already in. Brian Casey, Danny Ince, Troy Trott, Magnum Skywolf, Jamie White, Casper Nordum, Tobias Nilsson all say morning. And also King Dino says, morning Jay, hashtag Glazers out. Absolutely, that's a sentiment we can all agree on as well. Should we talk about Mason Mount? Because there was a bit of an update last night where you can see it there on the screen. It says, Chelsea reject Manchester United. Sorry, we'll just move that out of the way, the thing for Razif. Thanks. Yeah, so if you scroll down, you can see here, it says Mason Mount. Manchester United have had a £40 million bid for Chelsea's Mason Mount turned down. United manager Erik ten Hag has identified Mount as someone who can bolster his attacking options. Now, to see the figures there, you say United do not feel Chelsea's £70 million valuation is realistic. I agree with that completely. I think if we were to get Mount for anything close to 40 million, I think 50 million is probably more likely. That would be all right. I think that's decent because I'm not his biggest fan, but he is a Champions League winner. He's still relatively young. He's Premier League proven. Obviously, Erik ten Hag wants him, which is important that you back the manager by giving him the players that he actually wants. And I think for 50 million quid nowadays, it doesn't get you a lot, to be honest with you. You have to sort of shop around. I know that sounds crazy, but how many times do United actually buy a player for more than 50 million, a lot more than 50 million? We do that quite often, and a lot of them don't work out. When you look at the facts, we spent 80 million on Maguire, 70 odd million on Sancho, 100 million euros on Anthony. Who else did we? Was Casemiro, I think, was 60 odd million. Martinez, I think, was 56 million. So some of them have been all right. Some have worked out. Others, probably not. I think Lukaku was 79. Pogba was 80 something, I think. So 50 million for Manchester United is, I wouldn't say it's relatively cheap, but it's doable. And I think that if you were to get him for that price, you couldn't have too many complaints. But the fact Chelsea want 70 million is a bit too much, in my opinion. Hopefully Manchester United won't do what we always do when we go into these transfers, where we say we're not going to pay that, and then we end up paying it. We did it with Aaron Wan-Bissaka, we did it with Harry Maguire, we've pretty much done it with everyone. I can't remember the last time I feel Manchester United got an actual bargain. It's probably Bruno Fernandes. You have to go back a few years for that one. But our transfer policy seems to be just paying whatever the clubs want. So yeah, as it also says there, United won't be signing Harry Kane from Tottenham for 100 million. That sort of looks dead. I think Jamie Jackson in The Guardian had that last night as well. He had it as a bit of an exclusive that United weren't going to pursue Harry Kane. It also looks like we're not going to pursue Victor Osimhen. So maybe Rasmus Højlund is the new main man when it comes to United's number 9 transfer targets. But in terms of Mason Mount, 40 million, okay. 50 million, yeah, that's fine. But upwards of that, that's when you start looking at it and going, is it a little bit too much? Get involved in the comments and let us know what you think. Do you want Mason Mount? I was chatting to Rory Jennings the other day, who obviously does the club. We've had a McCullough, and he's a big Chelsea fan, and he was raving about Mason Mount. He seems to think he's fantastic. He said the Stretford end will be serenading him if we ever get him at Old Trafford. So I don't quite share that enthusiasm, but you never know, it could be a decent signing. Let us know what you think. Alex Galloway 1993 says we're going to get ripped off for Mount, but Liverpool get a discount on McAllister's release clause. It's hard being a United fan. I'm not that bothered about Liverpool getting Alex McAllister. I'm not. I know people go, he's a World Cup winner and all that. If it had been Caicedo, I'd have been a lot more bothered. I think McAllister's a decent player, but I'm not like, I can't believe Liverpool have got him. I'd have been a lot more concerned if they got bought someone like a Jude Bellingham, for example. Nathan Howard says, Jay, it looks like you are wearing a Tottenham jersey. Yes, I've decided to start supporting Tottenham Hotspur. Secrets out. I love him. Does it? Is that what it looks like? I might have to get a new Tottenham if that's the case. Adam B makes a great point here. He says, I want whoever the manager wants. I like that. Yeah, if Erik ten Hag wants someone, then we should get him. Within reason, obviously. Me and Joe were talking about this last night. You've got to back the manager. You've got to give him his priority targets. And sometimes it feels like we don't. It feels like we always sort of go so far and then we hold back from really backing the managers. And that's been going on a lot at Manchester United. Even when we have backed managers, there's always been targets and transfers the managers have wanted that we haven't been able to make happen. We had to wait for Jadon Sancho, of course. Jose Mourinho wanted Harry Maguire a year before we ended up paying 80 million quid for him. That didn't happen. There's been other transfers as well. I remember even Perisic was a big transfer target under Jose Mourinho as well. That didn't happen. Then if you want to go even further back, you remember David Moyes came in, there was all these talks of Sami Khedira and Fabio Contrao and all these types of players being linked with Manchester United, and none of those happened as well. So we do seem to go, yes, we spend money, and yes, we bring in a lot of players, but there are times when we could go a little bit further, and we don't. And certainly now, with what is going on currently at Manchester United and what is going currently down the road at Manchester City as well, we do need to back this manager, and I think he's earned the right to be backed with his first season of finishing third and getting that Carabao Cup win as well. So getting a trophy in the cabinet, ending that little mini trophy drought, I think Eric Ten Hag has done enough to show that he should be back properly in this transfer window. And I think if he wants Mason Mount, that is a deal United should be able to get over the line. We're talking about a player who's in the last year of his contract and who has had a bit of a patchy season, if we're being brutally honest. I know he's had injuries, but Chelsea have been shambolic. So it's not like you're looking at a player who's at the peak of his game. This isn't buying Mason Mount just after he won the Champions League, when he still had a few years left on his contract and he'd had a good game in the final, setting up the winner as well. This is a player whose stock has dropped a little bit. Chelsea have to get rid of some players. He's ready to come to Manchester United. His contract's almost up. Let's make this happen. Come on, man. It's silly. Should we talk about Facundo Pellistri? He had a good game for Uruguay last night over Nicaragua. Picked up 2 assists during their 4-1 win. His star shines quite brightly, doesn't it, for Uruguay? He's had some good games for him. I think he's highly rated there. Obviously, getting a couple of assists doesn't do him any harm. Would you want to see Pellistri starting next season for United? Or maybe not starting, maybe that's a bit of a stretch if we're being honest, but would you like to see him featuring more, I should say, for Manchester United's first team? Because there was a time, wasn't there, when everyone had given up on him. Everyone thought, this isn't a player who's going to make it. He probably needs to go out on loan, and then with a view to just selling him. He's way down the pecking order in terms of wingers when you look at the other options we've got. But some of the cameos he had last season, he actually did really well. I remember, was it the Real Betis game where he came on and straight away I think he set up a goal for Wout Weghorst, who's one of only 2 people to do that in a Manchester United shirt. So he has shown bits, hasn't he? And he's only young, and obviously for his country he does very well as well. So maybe there's a sort of an argument to be made that we should see more of Facundo Pellistri. Let us know what you think. Do you think we should do? Do you think we've actually got too many wingers? When you look at it now, you've got Anthony, you've got Marcus, who his best position is on the left, in my opinion. You've got Diallo, who had a great season at Sunderland. Can he come back into the fold? You've got Alejandro Garnacho as well. You've got Jadon Sancho. It does seem like we do have a lot of wingers. So I don't know, maybe Pellistri could find himself sort of struggling to get any game time. Let us know what you think and hit the like button as well. I want to see more of you liking this video. Come on, people, get involved. Captain Longsmock says Pellistri will be mint. David O'Connor says, Romano reported United would go for Kane if Levy was willing to sell, but they don't want the drama of yet another saga over the summer, so backing off makes sense. It does, doesn't it? Listen, we did it with Sancho, didn't we, a few years ago when we had that whole protracted summer when the negotiations were going on for months and months and months and months and nothing happened. He didn't come to United. He came obviously the next summer, but it just seemed like a waste of everyone's time. Now, Harry Kane, he's out of contract in a year's time. He could leave then, obviously on a free. If Levy doesn't want to sell him to us now, then what can you do? Basically, you can't force the issue. I mean, unless you throw loads of money at it, but how much money would it take and how much budget do we have? Until we know what's happening with the ownership, we don't know how much money we are going to have. Yes, you can go for players like Mason Mount. You imagine there's a certain amount of money Eric Ten Hag knows he's got, but does he know he's got enough money for someone like a Harry Kane? I'm not so sure. Laxon Mwanza says, morning Jay, Mason Mount is 50 quid's player. I just hope the recruitment team at United can be quick in bringing the players the manager wants. I get frustrated the way United conduct transfers. I agree with all that. It can be very frustrating. There are times when we can get our act together and make deals happen pretty quickly. It did happen a little bit last season, didn't it? When we were all sort of going, what's going on here? Why are we not doing this? Why are we not doing that? And then it was like, right, okay, this transfer started coming in and we got some very good players in. And by and large, I think the transfer policy last summer works. And I obviously got to give Eric Ten Hag a lot of credit for that. He got the players he wanted and it worked. January, not so much. January, when we needed to go, not big, but back the manager again, when we were, what were we? Not really in a title race, but 8 or 9 points behind Arsenal or whatever it wasn't like that far away. Then you had, obviously, we were in the Carabao Cup in the latter rounds of that. We were in the latter rounds of the FA Cup, in the latter rounds of the Europa League. And you thought, if we back this manager now, if we bring in a striker because he hasn't got one, then maybe we can kick on and win a few trophies. We brought in Wout Weghorst and he did his best. But when you loan a player from Burnley, what do you really expect? Won the Carabao, but we were obviously short. I mean, Wout Weghorst, don't keep going on about him, but it's a good example. He didn't score any Premier League goals. Then you had Marcel Sabitzer, who was a decent loan signing from Bayern Munich, of course, but it was just that. It was a couple of loan signings. That's all the manager was afforded. And I don't think that was good enough. And I think had we gone bigger in that January transfer window, we could have had more silverware at the end of the season and also stopped a certain team from winning the treble. But, you know, hey-ho. Should we talk about the takeover? There's loads of stories doing the rounds here. You can see here, Sheikh Jassim's £170 million war chest as Premier League make statement. So this is from the Express. This says Man United, follow all the latest updates. Yeah, they're talking about the fact that there's this, first of all, there's a little bit about the fixtures, which I'm going to get into a little bit later on. And then it says the Glazers are expected to name their chosen option this week as Sheikh Jassim bin Hamad Al Thani and St. John Ratcliffe wait. Goes on to say that with the help of the Rain Group, the American family must decide on a full sale, relinquishing control with majority investment, offloading a minority stake, or no deal. Now, there was another story. I think this was from the Express as well. Alex Turk was, I think if you scroll down, it should be there, hopefully, as well, about Sir Jim Ratcliffe and what he was doing as his sort of backup plan. This sort of piques my interest a little bit. It said there, I think it was on that graphic that we had up, if you keep scrolling, I think it was from about 8:44. Keep going. There you go. There is it. So Jim Ratcliffe could be preparing to accept defeat in the Manchester United takeover race, according to L'Equipe. This is obviously the French outlet. The British billionaire has a backup plan in case he misses out to Sheikh Jassim or another party. He owns, obviously, OGC Nice. So he'll invest the money he's collected to buy United from the Glazers into his French club. This has been doing the rounds, I think, for a little while, this story. I think it was about 24 hours or maybe a bit longer. But a few outlets are reporting it, not just L'Equipe. It's interesting that the suggestion here, he is having a plan B, because he was always sort of rumoured or reported that he was all in on this. He was confident, he was making plans ahead of what he was going to do once he took over. There was already sort of ideas in place and a strategy in place for when he became the new owner of Manchester United, how we were going to go about things. Now there's reports coming out of France, obviously, and being reported here in the Express, that he's actually looking at a backup that if I don't get over the line with Manchester United, I'm going to sort of push ahead with the club that I already own. Let me know what you think of that. Do you put much weight in it? Does it concern you at all? Or would you prefer Sheikh Jassim to Sir Jim Ratcliffe? So are you happy about that? Or do you think this is just literally paper talk? Let us know what you think. It is quite odd, isn't it, that you've got Sir Jim with this obviously sort of owning Nice, and you've also got the Qatari involvement with PSG. Now, we were told on Friday when it was Al Khalifi, whatever the chap's name is, who's involved with Paris Saint-Germain, he was helping with the negotiations, that he was just advising. This doesn't mean that the same people, the same group that own Paris Saint-Germain from Qatar are going to own Manchester United. It is separate. But it all just seems a little bit confusing at times, doesn't it, when they've got all these sort of links to other clubs. Maybe it can be a good thing, especially as one report was saying, or a few reports were saying, that it could pave the way for Manchester United to get Kylian Mbappe. I'm not so sure, though. I think there's a lot of sort of rumours and conjecture without any actual hard evidence. And a lot of this, don't forget as well, when it comes to the takeover, there's NDAs flying around, there's people can't say anything. There's also different camps briefing different journalists. We've seen certain journalists who seem to be getting more information on what's happening with the Qatari bid. We've seen other journalists getting more information on what's happening with Sir Jim Ratcliffe bid. And you wonder where that information is coming from. Are they being briefed by certain people who have ties to those bids? I'm not so sure. We know we had that mini meltdown, didn't we, on Monday, when, for all intents and purposes, it looked like Sheikh Jassim had been successful. There were reports coming out of Qatar that he'd been successful, and it turned out those reports were false. And some of them, I think, have actually come from a Twitter account with a few hundred followers, not all of them, and then it had been picked up and people had ran with it, and yeah, it all just got a little bit silly. I'm just going to go through some of the comments here. Captain Longsmock says, no more debt. Lauren Rose says, morning, Jay. I don't think either bids are great, but if Qatar means the Glazers are completely out, I can't help but want that. Ishan Sawari says, Jay, you're an informational wizard. Thank you. Darren Cox says, no more debt and this club will be flying. Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? Because I think both bids are flawed. I'll be honest with you, I've said that from day one. There was a time when I thought the Sir Jim Ratcliffe bid would be ideal. Well, not ideal, but good. I thought, he's going to get rid of the Glazers, he's going to take over his club, he's going to care about the club, and hopefully we can move forward in the transfer market and get the infrastructure sorted. And there doesn't seem to be too many dramas with that. I wasn't a big fan of being owned by a state. I've said that a few times. But now the problem with Sir Jim Ratcliffe's bid is there's talk that it could keep the Glazers on. The only thing I will say about that, though, is if it does keep the Glazers on, it should keep them on without any control, which obviously isn't as bad as them being in control. It just does leave a bit of a sour taste in the mouth. The fact that they're still going to be around, probably still collecting dividends, probably still making money, but at least they won't be calling the shots. Let us know what you think about Sir Jim Ratcliffe, about Sheikh Jassim. Don't forget as well, we had this unanimous vote by the Premier League yesterday that no one can ever buy a club with a leveraged buyout. So the Premier League unanimously voted to stop someone doing to another club what the Glazers did to Manchester United. And when I say unanimously voted, that means the Glazers or Manchester United themselves voted against leveraged buyout. So they admitted that what they did at United was wrong and they voted against it happening to any other clubs. Why wasn't this happening 18 years ago when the Glazers took over Manchester United? It is an absolute joke. Hit that like button. There's almost 2,000 people watching. We haven't even got to 400 likes, which is unreal. Come on, people, hit the like button, please. Adam B says, just saw Sheikh Jassim at Morrison's in Eccles. Well, it could kick off then, because I saw Sir Jim Ratcliffe there the other day. Hopefully they don't bump into each other at the cash machine and have a scrap. Let's go on the fixtures then. The fixtures came out this morning. The fixtures came out at 9 o'clock, didn't they? But everyone started leaking it at about 8:45. I love that. Let's get in there 15 minutes early. Let's have a bit of that. Come on. Hey, I'm here first. Do you remember that one? Did anyone see the leak yesterday, which looked like something just nonsensical, with someone holding a pad with all the fixtures perfectly sort of situated on them so you could see? I think that was playing Brighton or something on the first game. Anyway, the fixtures are out now. You can see there, Wolves at home, first game. And I think it's on the Monday, innit? I think we're the last fixture for the first round of games. Yeah, I thought so. So, yeah, everyone plays, then we play Wolves. I'm sitting, you know what? Does it feel like we play Wolves every week? It's like the Scousers with Southampton. I think the Scousers are still going to play Southampton this season, honestly, even though they've been relegated. Because it just seems like we play Wolves all the time. And all the games are a little bit underwhelming as well, aren't they? There's never really I can't remember a really exciting game. I mean, there probably has been. I'm probably just misremembering. But a lot of them just seem a bit... I remember when we played him in the FA Cup back to back, was it like 0-0, 0-0, 1-0, then in the league 0-0. Bruno's debut, of course. So yeah, we've got Wolves at home for the first game. Listen, it could be a lot worse than that. You'd fancy us for that one. Tottenham away, a tricky one. Be interesting to see what happens with that one. Do you reckon United fans will boo Harry Kane for not signing for us if he's there? I think we will. Nottingham Forest at home, you'd fancy us for that, to be honest with you. Arsenal away, tricky, but I think we can do a better job against them this time than we did last time. I think last time we were stitched up. Casemiro obviously got that booking that meant he was suspended. Also, we played midweek against Crystal Palace. They had a full week off. And you could see we fell off a cliff fitness-wise after about 80 minutes, 75 minutes. So hopefully we'll have a better crack at it this time and get a result there. Brighton at home, Burnley away, Crystal Palace at home. Yeah, we can win all them. Brentford at home, we can win that. Sheffield United away, yeah, easy. City at home, we beat them last season at home, we'll win that. Fulham away, yeah, not even a drama. Luton at home, that'll be a cricket score. Everton are terrible, we'll win that one. Newcastle away, we owe them one, so we'll do them. Chelsea at home, yeah, rubbish, they've been terrible, they just finished 12th, we'll do them. Bournemouth at home, mate, that'll be double figures for us. Liverpool away, we owe them after what happened last season, so we'll do them. West Ham away, yeah, they'll be concentrating on the Europa League, so that'll be easy. Villa at home, yeah, win that one. Forest away, we beat them 8-1 once away, so yeah, definitely feeling confident in that. Tottenham and Wolves, Tottenham at home, Wolves away, we'll do all them. West Ham, Villa, Luton, Fulham, easy. We'll take 12 points out of 12 for that one. February. March, don't forget by this time, we're easily top of the league, so everyone's scared of us. So City away, yeah, we owe them one, we'll do it. Everton at home, Sheffield United at home, Brentford away, win all that lot. And then by April, we're almost title winners now. So Chelsea away, they crumble because they're facing the champions-elect. Liverpool at home, we always beat them at home, don't we? Bournemouth away, Newcastle at home, Burnley, yeah, win all them. And then we round off the season with what is basically a victory parade for Palace away, Arsenal at home and Brighton away. So yeah, 21 is coming, obviously, when you look at those fixtures. I can't see anything going wrong. Let us know what you think about that those fixtures in the chat and the comments. Quite tricky, innit? Spurs and Arsenal away in your first 4 fixtures. Not ideal, but I remember under Louis van Gaal, right? We had that great pre-season, didn't we, where we beat everyone in pre-season, including, I think, was it... I'm going to get this wrong. Was it Inter, Liverpool and whoever? We beat everyone in the pre-season. And you looked at the fixtures, and all our fixtures were dead easy. Do you know what? I'm going to do this, actually, right? So it was the Louis van Gaal's first season, which I think was 2014 to 2015. So I remember getting all excited because, yeah, pre-season, right, we beat LA Galaxy, Roma, Inter, Real Madrid, Liverpool and Valencia. We won all those games, right, when Van Gaal came in. And he looked at the fixtures, and our first sort of 6 or 7 fixtures were Swansea, Sunderland, Burnley, QPR, Leicester, West Ham, Everton, West Brom, and then Chelsea, right? And I remember thinking, bro, we could win all of them. We could literally win our first, 8 games or whatever. This is it. It's happening here. We're flying in pre-season. We've got new signings. Louis van Gaal knows what he's doing, unlike David Moyes. We're going to smash it. First game, Swansea at home, we lost. Sunderland away, we drew. Burnley away, we drew. We then beat Queen's Park Rangers at home and then lost away at Leicester City. It was an awful start. And by the end of the Leicester City game, we were 12th. So I'm not holding my breath when it comes to fixtures. You just don't know what's going to happen. One thing is certain, though, we need to back this manager with some transfers. Red Dragon 583 says, do you want a new stadium or to fix Old Trafford? I'm in the minority. I want a new stadium. I know everyone doesn't like that because Old Trafford's where all the memories are and all that, but I think the memories come with you to the new stadium. Listen, I'm going to leave it there. Thanks to everyone who got involved in the comments and the chat. I'm going to be back later on. Joe Smith has done an interview with Dharmesh Seth from Sky Sports. Going to be covering loads of topics there, including transfers and what's happening with Manchester United and the takeover and all that stuff. So make sure you're checking out that. That'll be on later on this afternoon. So I've been Jay Motty. This has been The Paper Talk. Don't forget to hit like, share and subscribe.